What's good, Pimpin'? What's good? We're gonna get started in just a second. Let me know. Everything good? Audio, video good? We'll get started in just a second. Bless, bless, bless. Let's get by this sunset. Looks like Area 51. Well, you know, this is Vegas. That's just the vibe of the city. You know what I mean? You already know I give you all the visuals. It's a meaning why I want y'all to see the sunset. You know what I mean? We'll get into that in just a second. Greetings, greetings, greetings. You know what I mean? We're gonna sun gaze for just a second. Let's get some sun gaze in there. You know what I mean? We on this shit. So just a few minutes. Alright, let me turn this music off. Alright, we're gonna get this shit started. Turn this camera around. Let's see. Alright, peace, peace, peace. You know what I mean? Welcome to the fucking show. We just chilling for a minute. You know what I mean? Happy New Year to those who went into astrology, the rising of Sirius. You know what I mean? It may be different days depending on where you are on the planet. It could be, you know, July 18th happened a couple days ago, or it can happen in a few days, or it can be today. You know what I mean? So, if y'all know what I'm talking about, peace of the new year. If you in tune with the Sirius star. You know what I mean? Vegas, Liddy and production event in August. Yeah, you already know. Yeah, they having a fight out here. You know, Floyd, McGregor, whatever the fuck this dude name is. You know what I mean? Like, it's a reason why Vegas is, you know, a real special spot. And that's chosen for all the big events. You know, if you ever been on the strip, you know what I mean, you ever been to the Silver State, it's called the Silver State, it's silver, you know, all under the ground. So, you know what I mean, if you do the history to that, you will see why many type of events, why the strip was even built, adult Disneyland, it's all based on the silver under the ground. You know, because it definitely has a very, very strong effect on your third eye. This is why this is an inside city as compared to California. You know, everybody's outside doing their thing. Here it's more so about casinos and being inside the malls. It's not really about being outside because, you know, the weather be too hot or whatever. McGregor ain't nothing. Well, you know, I'm not really gonna get into the boxing shit. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan. I'm probably not gonna watch it. You know what I mean? I'll probably just be in the atmosphere. You know, maybe I'll, you know, do a live stream on that day just so y'all can get a feel of the atmosphere. Like, I'm not going in there or whatever, but if y'all want that, y'all just let me know. But other than that, let's get into what the topic is today. Now, it's a reason why you see me a lot in this particular field, because this field is ruled by the number 5. You know what I mean? So you see, it's just nothing but emptiness. You know what I mean? So I can talk as loud as I want. You ain't gotta worry about no bullshit. And it's right by a freeway. If you didn't see that before. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a real sacred spot. Now I don't know what the fuck used to be here, but that's neither here nor there. But let's get into this shit. Now, portal manifestation. What is that about? Now the reason I talked about Sirius is because this is a time of Sirius, so it's considered a new year. Spiritually, if you know are into all that stuff. If you're not into it, the Egyptians was real big on Sirius and worshiping the Sirius star, as well as a cult. You know what I mean? So if one of those is your interests, a cult, the so-called Illuminati, Egyptian mythology, or whatever it is, all that is based on the Sirius star. So do your research, Sirius star, the dog star, we're going to the god Anubis, so on and so forth. And there's various gods and deities that's connected with the Sirius star constellation. Now, why, you know, what's the big deal? If you research into the Dogon, they say our soul came from Sirius, A or B. Why is that? They say Sirius is actually the light that's reflected from the sun. That's another reason why I showed the sun. Let me show it again. They say the sun is really a mirror to Sirius, because Sirius is the brightest star that we can see, right? So they say that's the light of Sirius. That's not just the sun projecting its own light. The sun, just like the moon, is just mirroring a greater light, the light of Sirius. So when we see that sunset, that's really Sirius. You get what I'm saying? So that's another reason why I wanted to show you the sun. And also, when the sun is setting, you should be able to see it. If you download this app called, I think it's called Skyview on Google Play Store or Apple, whatever device you use, whatever platform you own, you will be able to see the constellations of where they are based on where you are. So if you type in Sirius, download the app, type in Sirius, find out where it is, and see if you can see it at night. You should be able to see it. It just depends on how cloudy or whatever. Let me see if you can see. It's not too cloudy here. You see it's clouds here and there, but for the most part, it's a pretty clear sky. So as the night comes, you should be able to see it. I guess if you're on the East Coast, it's probably a little cloudy. Maybe I don't know what the weather is, but basically, get your studies into the Sirius star constellation, because that's basically what the topic is going to be about anyway. Now, what is it about opening portals? So we all know we have 7 chakras. Some people say 9. Some people say 11, some people say 13. I say study all of it and see if it makes sense to you, because they say, we have chakras even above the crown chakra. So you probably have chakras going all the way up to here. Then you say you have chakras down at your feet, all the way, to like your ankles or whatever, or the bottom of your soles. Hey, it's all legit. I'm not going to say, which one is which. It's all about if you can put your attention at the bottom of your feet and you feel something vibrating and something spinning, then it may be a chakra right there. If you can have consciousness of a chakra up here, if you can do this, and you can feel your hand doing this on your crown chakra, you feel the spinning sensation, then maybe it's true. You got to find out for yourself. I'm not here to tell you which one is legit or not. But what this is about is, how do you open portals? Now, portal manifestation is simply about opening portals. Why is this important? If you can open a portal to whatever dimension or whatever reality or whatever you can imagine, you can open a portal so that you can have a medium to communicate with that reality, although it may not be physically here. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, take the throat chakra, which is resonating with the planet Mercury. So the throat chakra is a medium to the planet Mercury. The planet Mercury up in the sky, but the planet Mercury inside the body is the throat chakra. So when you do a manifestation and you imagine a blue orb going into your throat chakra and penetrating it and like exploding so that it stimulates the throat chakra, that's you opening up a portal to the manifestation, or the number 5. You know what I mean? Just depending on if you want to use astrology, you want to use numerology, whatever frequency you want to use. So if you want to chant 555, or just a number 5, or meditate on the throat chakra, resonate with the number 5, or the color light blue, or it may be dark blue, depending on what system you study. Whatever it is, the point of opening all this is, or, if you want to go a little deeper, if you are into sex magic. So what's the benefit of opening a portal? I'm gonna get to that right now. If you're into sex magic, whether you're doing it alone or you're doing it with a partner, at the moment of orgasm, imagine a blue light penetrating to your throat and exploding inside you, then and imploding. So let it explode, then let it implode, just like a star explodes. Then imagine it imploding. So it goes outside of you, lighting up your whole head. Then you gather all that light and concentrate it to one little dot. You know what I mean? So let it explode and let it implode. So this is all getting the chakra to rotate. Now, what you will notice is, after you finish that ritual, you will notice that the type of thoughts that you channel, because all thoughts are channels. For example, you can go inside anybody's home. Everybody's home resonates with a different frequency. So you can go inside anybody's home or any workplace or any mall, any place that rules a number. It doesn't matter. Go anywhere. Go into a gas station, whatever. Every place you go into has a vibration, has a frequency. These bitches cut me off. What do you mean, man? What are you talking about? Every place has a vibration. So, depending on where you are, that's going to determine what type of thoughts you channel based on the rulership of the planet that's ruling the what's up? That's ruling the vibration or the frequency you're on. So, for example, let's just say your home number is number 5, which is Mercury, right? Because it's Mercury, you're going to have thoughts about technology. You're going to be communicating a lot on the phone. You're going to want to go places. You're going to be a little restless. There's going to be a lot of vibration. There's going to be a lot of activity going on because that's just the frequency of the Mercury. It rotates. It's the fastest planet that rotates around the sun. So it's all about speed. It's all about new ideas, new money. You know what I mean? That's also, the planet of money and all that. So your thoughts will be within the realms of this frequency because that's the rulership you're in. What do I mean? What if you're in a low vibrational home and you fight against it? Now, in that case, if you're in a place, and I guess that's it, that's another perfect example. You will see if you are into a low vibrational home, the moment you step outside, the vibration heightens because that's just the rulership of that particular energy because that energy may be heavy due to the people inside and, just the thought frequency they're on. And that's another thing. So, the same way in the astrology chart, where you have, let's just say, your sun is in Scorpio, but you have houses. It may be in the second house, it may be in the third house, it may be in the fourth house. What's up? What's up, man? Now, the houses are basically the stage. So you can look at the houses like this. Look at the houses as the stage. Look at the planets or what the zodiac that it's in as the play on the stage. Love you found out while finding people to make possibilities course. Yo, definitely appreciate your comment, bro. Now, so if your sun is in Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio is the play. Unless it says in the second house, which is Taurus, that's the stage. So whatever house the zodiac is in, that's the stage, right? So whatever's going on the play on the stage is, the zodiac. So what does that all mean? So if you're in a number 5 house, that means the stage is whatever it's in, whatever number. So again, if it's 5, it's Mercury. If it's 1, it's the sun. The imagination that goes do. Definitely read up on the Belly Goddard. Definitely if you're into Gnosticism or the other side of Christianity, esoteric Christianity. That's definitely somebody that'll help you get your imagination on point, which is very crucial to all these exercises as well. Is is utilizing the third eye. So if you want to enhance your visualization or your imagination, just do the exercise I told you to do before. Just direct it to the third eye so that you can see better in your dreams. What are your thoughts on the appearance of animals? They were once 11 to 12 Blue Jays. They all communicate to you. See, this is the thing. If you want to communicate with animals, do exactly what I just told you earlier with the throat chakra. It's all about communication. So if you want to know, if you want to understand messages more, whether it's from animals, whether it's the environment, if you want to understand spiritual messages more, do the exercise I told you before with the explosion and the implosion. Now going back to the houses. So if you're in a number 5 house, that's the stage. And the people in the house are the plays because everybody has different configurations depending on what who you are and what's your alignments and your zodiac. What causes me not to astral travel? If you can astral travel, again, do the exercise I told you. Do it for every chakra. You know what I mean? So depending on what day it is, like today, I don't know what the fuck is today. Wednesday, the day of Mercury, right? Throat chakra. So if you want to astral travel, again, the lower 3 chakras are about the physical plane. The root, the sacral, and the solar plexus is all physical chakras. Not physical as in physical literal, but they rule the physical plane. When you get to the heart, that's the gateway, right? When you get to the upper 3 chakras, that's the spirituality, that's your spiritual side. So if we're talking about anything spiritual, astral traveling, communicating with animals, You know what I mean? Dimension traveling, basically all of this stuff. This is doing the upper chakra. So you work on your throat, your third eye, and your crown chakra. But you must get through the heart. We talk about that a little later. Thanks for the knowledge. Funny you said explosion. I lit a firecracker before prayer was my own Big Bang. Definitely use your own creativity to get the manifestation that you choose. So getting back to the astrology. So the house is the stage, the people in the house is the plays. That's why the people in the house, if the people in the house are low vibrational beings, it can affect the whole stage. Because if you're watching people that are not, performing their duty correctly, of course it's going to affect the entire stage. Nonetheless, the stage still has a certain feel. You get what I'm saying? So no, it's going to always be a number five or whatever the house number may be, but depending on the people inside, that's going to influence it. So going back to the portal manifestation, if you want to open up a portal to whatever planet, because you can link everything back to a planet, back to a chakra, back to a metal. If you want to link it to a metal, then what is the metal? Quicksilver or mercury. If you want to, if you went to alchemy, work with mercury, work with quicksilver. Not literally because it's poisonous, but if you understand what I'm talking about, if you want to alchemy, you will know what I'm saying. What are your thoughts on video games? It just depends on what you play and what the attention is. This it's an opening into the inside of yourself. Like depending on your particular play style, that just determines you get a vision into your inner self when you play video games because you're going to do things that you wouldn't do physically. So, for example, if you're playing an RPG game, it's a game where you're the hero, you're the chosen one, going around the planet gathering to help helpers fight this greater goal or this greater mission. Depending on how you play, like for example, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, all this stuff. I'm talking about like the sports and all that stuff. Anybody can do that. But a game with a greater cause, that's insight into yourself because how you play that is depending on like your strategy. You have to develop a strategy, how you equip your players with certain armor and techniques and spells. That's based on who you are. So when you observe your playing style by playing a game, you get to see like how you would how it's like a mini stage of how you operate in life, how you depending on how you play video games. So you can say the video games is the plays on the stage, and your life is a greater stage. So depending on how you play video games is really how you make choices in life and how you navigate certain things. So you will be able to see it in video games without you having to go through certain things. So just depending on what you want to do. Does your apartment number contribute to the energy of your home? Yeah. So let's just say your apartment number is 231. That's the number six, the planet Venus. You know what I mean? Now, some people add the letters, so it may be 231 to A or B or whatever. If you want to add the letters, that's up to you. If you don't, if you want to stick straight to the numbers, for you to determine how you feel once you walk into the home. You will know the difference as you start to study the planets. And you start to study, like, okay, like I said, Mercury is a more of a quicker vibration. Venus is more of like a feminine, a beautiful, what I mean, more comforting. So depending on how you feel when you walk in the house, you'll be able to determine, which one you want to go with. So a seven, number four, what I mean? Yeah, you break down the numbers of whatever house you in, add them up, reduce them to one digit, and that's the number of the planet it resonates with. You know what I mean? So so I'm just giving examples. Numbers house number 12. Yeah, 12 would be 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. Yeah, so you just do it. So that's why I talk about astrology so much, so that you can start to take it outside of this is not just your natal chart. You know what I mean? You see, you can take this into real life. You take it outside of the natal chart and you break down your home number, you break down a number of your name, you break down a number of other people's name, you break down the locations of all the places you go, your license plate number. So you can take this outside of astrology and apply it to any type of situation. You get what I'm saying? So I'm giving you little techniques or things so you can take it outside of that so that you can better understand it so it can help you understand astrology on the higher aspects as well as the lower aspects so it can become a holistic science and not just something that you do when you want to or you don't really understand. This will help you understand as you apply it to the days. Again, today, Wednesday, the day of Mercury. So as you dedicate all your studies, this is why we're talking about Mercury, because this is the day of Mercury. It's like the last video I did, I was talking about Saturn. So depending on the day I do a video, it's going to resonate with the topic at hand. So this is why I give little examples like that. So you're trying to get them waves or what, King? You already know what it is, man. You know what I mean? We got to stay wavy. I wanted to grow my shit out. Everybody doing the dreads, but I just can't get over that fucking that. Having your shit nappy. I could never fucking fuck with that shit. So I ended up cutting my shit off. So you know what I mean? Maybe I want to take a fucking peek. You know what I mean? It's trying to wave up. It's a little bit. You see him a little bit, but yeah. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep that under wraps though. So getting back to it, hold on, I saw a house that had the address 1111. It was a beautiful purple and gold color. The person that owned it understood the relevance. Again, you can definitely, if you are in tune, this is a greater science. You can apply this to anything. You can apply it to, again, you apply, you will see, you will know why I have this. You know what I mean? You will be able to know. You see your stars on here. It's not just about no gang shit. You see your stars. I'm talking about serious, right? And this is also a special significance to me personally. Like this is what I wear around my eyes. Can you override the influence of numerology in your life? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about next. So stay tuned. I sleep with this over my eyes. When I go to sleep, I wrap this around my head. So I cover my eyes so that I'm in complete blackness. So I had the stars on here to travel to certain constellations. So I program this based on wherever I want to go, program this. So if it's Sirius, for example, program this, take me to Sirius. You see, little wings. That's why I have it in this certain pattern. Put it over my eyes, so it's complete blackness. So when I go to sleep, this is a program to take me to Sirius. So I'm gonna have a certain experience. It may not be me actually on the planet Sirius, but I'm gonna have a dream that resonates with some type of information or some type of guide that's gonna help me understand that better. Because again, it ain't all about traveling all in the stars and all that. It's about certain lessons you can take from that. Right, the power of intention. What's the difference between prana, kundalini, and chi? See, prana and chi is basically it's the same thing, it's just different traditions, different languages. Whereas the kundalini is, you can say the chi rising up the spine, all the way up, going down. It just really depends on where you're getting the information from. It's really all the same stuff. So the prana and the chi is basically everywhere. You can say prana, chi is melanin. Or, it's so many words, ether, melanin, ether. You know what I mean? It's the same stuff. Like when the sun goes down, when there's no light, all you're gonna see is blackness. So it's naturally blackness everywhere until light manifests. Without light manifested, it's ether all over the place. Ether is how thoughts travel. When you think, electromagnetic thoughts is traveling through ether. Ether is what connects all of us together. Of course, we all know this already. If you know anything about the law of attraction, all this new age shit, this is basically what they're saying, just in a different way. So we are all connected by this ether. This ether can travel. That's why the whole Einstein theory of spooky, what is it, spooky action at a distance, some shit around along those lines, spooky something at a distance, because everything is connected. An atom all the way on the planet Earth can affect the atom all the way on fucking Sirius because they have a connection. And what the connection is ether. That's what get into quantum mechanics and quantum physics and all this stuff. You know what I mean? So when you study all this stuff from a spiritual mind, you will understand basically it's all the same shit. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it's all talking about the same stuff. The Kabbalion, Hermeticism, Hermetica. This is all talking about the same stuff. I like that tape, bro. I just can't wait. Can't watch the live, but once it's uploaded, you know what I mean? Yeah, if you can't watch it, you know what I mean? Watch this shit later. So, right, the Djed, exactly. The Djed pillar. You get what I'm saying? So it's all in all type of mythologies all over the world. They're all talking about the same stuff. They're just using different names and different stories, but it's all the same one story, which is basically the story of the soul. The story that we go through on this physical plane to experience or to play out our soul's mission or our soul's purpose. This is a play. The physical plane is a play. The greater goal is whatever your soul's mission is. So as you get into the higher chakras, that's when you start to, explore what you're here to do and, why am I here? You get into all these higher sciences. That's all the upper chakras. The lower chakras are just getting all the physical stuff on point. Let me switch hands. Right, so To open up a portal, once again, do the explosion and the implosion technique I described. Then, if you want to channel with certain energy, let's just say your house is a number 1, the sun, and you want it to be Mercury, put a number 4 on the back of your door, on top of the, basically where you open the door, put a number 4 at the upper corner. Again, I talked about this on one of my other videos. That's how you channel number 5. That's you opening up a portal to Mercury. And it's going to influence your thoughts because that becomes the stage. Whatever the stage is will influence your thoughts. And it's going to manifest in certain plays depending on what you're about. What your intake of dying in dreams. I had a dream. I was shot in the head. After that, everything went dark, but somehow I came back. Whenever you die in dreams, it's just a spiritual death because obviously you're still alive. Or are you? You know what I mean? That's something for you to really understand. Like, for example, if you died in a dream, the same thing when you do drugs. Well, shrooms. If you ever did shrooms, you die. Then you come back. Well, that at least was my experience. I felt like I fucking died. I could not believe I was still alive. That's the closest to death you're going to get without dying. And you have that same experience in dreams. What is it talking about? It's like a cleansing. Because if you died in the dreams, it produces certain chemicals in your body because you had that experience, because you think you really died. So it's going to produce, like when your body dies, there's certain chemicals that are produced that starts to break down the body when you actually die. That's, your body starts to fucking decompose and shit. That same chemical is released when you have the thoughts of dreaming. So this is why thought is so powerful. Your thought will influence certain chemicals to be secreted into the bloodstream that you can have a certain experience. You know what I mean? While I pull myself almost dead with the quickness. That's what I'm saying. So whatever experience you want to have, link it to a certain chakra. For example, if it's more money, again, throat chakra. If it's love or loving yourself or forgiving yourself, obviously that's the heart chakra. If it's foresight or insight or vision, it's the third eye, so on and so forth. Pick whatever chakra that resonates with the type of experience you want to have, then visualize or use your imagination and put yourself into a certain experience that will help secrete that certain chemical within the body so that you can have that certain experience, at least on the chemical level, because the brain doesn't know the difference between you imagining something and something actually happening, or, on the physical plane. The brain doesn't know the difference. That's why we'll have the same response. That's why when you're dreaming, you don't really know you're dreaming until you wake up, because the brain doesn't know the difference. So if you can imagine something deeply when you're in the midst of meditation, and you link it to a certain chakra so that it will secrete a certain hormone that will be released into your bloodstream that will cause a hallucination when you are deep in the meditation, so that you can connect or open a portal. You secrete that hormone into the bloodstream, which opens up a portal which would influence your visions. Breaking down letters into numbers, which is the correct, or could it be said omega using hands? There really is no correct way. You know what I mean? Whatever system, there's many different systems. That's why you got Vedic astrology, you got Western astrology, you got Indian. It doesn't matter. Find a system you resonate with and use that. There is no correct way. There is no right or wrong way. Just depending on what is easier for you to understand and comprehend. That's all it is. I had a dream where I died in a car crash, woke up in purgatory where I had to earn my way to a higher plane. See, when you have dreams like that, you dying and you wake up, you are, in jail, or you in this in-between space. This is you actually dying mentally, because you didn't die physically. Your body is still intact. Your body is just laying in bed or whatever. But your soul is having those experiences that you're supposed to have on a spiritual level. And this is what I'm saying. This is the spiritual journey. So although your body may be asleep, your body is just a vehicle. It's your soul that's really having the true experience. The soul is what's animating the body, that's causing you to have certain perceptions and perceive certain things. This is all the soul working this magic through the body and through the dreams. That's the real deal. So if you don't have certain experiences physically, you're going to have it in the dream world, which is the real world, which is the back of your subconscious. The subconscious is like, that's why it's a whole different plane. You can do things you can't do here. You can explore things that you can't explore here. That's the whole purpose of getting inside the subconscious mind and, exploring your dreams and having control of your dreams, lucid dreaming, astral travel. This is all your soul doing this work on the physical plane as well as the mental plane. It's all soul work. Which do you resonate with most? Hinduism, Egyptian, Islam, or Kabbalah? I resonate with all of it because I study all of it. You know what I mean? I've been studying this shit for like 10 years. You know what I mean? I was studying astrology when I was 16. Then I started, meditating all this stuff at 18, studying the subconscious mind. You know what I mean? So by the time I was 21, 22, I fucking studied pretty much everything there is to study. Not saying that I'm a master of anything, but at that time, that's when I started to really just see how this shit plays out on physical reality. Because I'm like, well, shit. I tell you, I think I might have told the story before, but I'll tell it once again, so people can understand, like my personal experience of how I got here. My whole thing, especially into the Egyptian secrets and the mysteries, because I had no idea about this stuff. The only thing I knew about Egypt is basically when I used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's as far as it went. But in terms of the actually going into the actual spiritual side of it, was one day I was just doing regular shit. You know what I mean? Doing me. Then all of a sudden a voice came to me and spoke through me, and it said Asar. A voice, like I heard a voice, and it basically made me speak, and it said Asar. So I'm looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I directly go to the computer. I type in Asar, find out it's Osiris, the Egyptian god of the underworld. This is before I knew anything about Egyptian anything. So a voice came to me and spoke that into existence. Then because I was already in the mindset of studying things, I automatically Googled it, researched it, Osiris. And that's why, when I first started rapping and all that stuff, and like on my Gmail, that's why I call myself Lord Asar. That's one of my spiritual names because that's a name that came to me before I knew anything about any of this stuff. So beyond that, that's why in my earlier videos you see me rocking the Ankh and all that stuff. That was like the manifestation or the inception of me studying all like these deeper mysteries. It wasn't that I was looking for it; it came to me. The same thing with the spiritual stuff, with meditation and like the Eastern philosophy and all that. I just so happened to be at my grandparents' house, just flicking through the channels, and one of a yogi had died that year, and they was like showing a biography of his life. It just so happened to resonate with me. I wrote down his name, went home, researched it. That was transcendental meditation or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I started researching that shit, and I began to meditate every day at 4 a.m. Then I would imagine a house. I built, or an astral temple, a house. So I have an astral temple in my mind. That's when I first constructed my astral temple. So it's a house that I have in my mind. That's where I go whenever I want to do spiritual work or spiritual practice. I built a whole fucking house, or a whole floor of just I got the bedroom, got the living room, it's the TV. I have it so intricate in my mind because every day I would wake up at the same time, meditate, to get into the half lotus position, meditate for at least an hour. So I was just constructing this astral trip. I drew it out on paper, then I started to put the details in it, on and on and on. Then my only thought was to go to LA. So this is when I was in Detroit, Michigan. So you know what I mean? My only thought, my strongest thought was going to LA, going to LA, going to LA, going to LA. Then what do you know, right? For fucking, what I mean? I got the call, I was on my way to LA. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. But every day was waking up at the same time, 4 a.m., doing meditation, studying about the subconscious mind, constructing the astral temple to the point where it's so engraved in my mind. It's just I can think about it instantly. And this is where I go if you want to communicate with your spirits or your ancestors or do any type of spiritual work, I automatically just go to the astral temple. It's just so ingrained in my mind at this point. It's realer than anywhere else. So with that being said, I wasn't looking for any of this. It just kind of came to me. I was just ready to receive it because if I wasn't of the mindset to write this stuff down and research it, then it wouldn't have meant nothing. It would have just been a regular TV show. But I took notes like I always do, and I did my research, and I just started to find more and more stuff. So this is when I first, learned about, the law of attraction and all this stuff. Because when I first started, it was hard for me to visualize anything because it was certain exercises within certain books. 'Cause I was heavy on Gnosticism. That was really the first introduction. Along with meditation and the Eastern philosophy, I started to study Gnosticism as well. So those was my two introductions, Gnosticism and the Eastern philosophy. And it was real hard for me to visualize anything. But I started just doing it more and more and more and more and more. So it was literally something I had to cultivate like a muscle. I couldn't even do it because the exercise was imagine a huge machine with a bunch of buttons, and imagine yourself like pulling on the levers and hitting certain buttons in certain colors. I was like, I couldn't even do that at first. But now it just is second nature. I can see that shit right in front of my eyes right now, and I can instantly do that. But at first I couldn't do that, so I had to cultivate all this stuff. This is me at 18, just cultivating all these exercises. Then I cultivated to a level where I was able to manifest myself going to LA, having that LA experience. And you see me with several videos. I'm in LA doing, you know what I mean? So it's already documented. And I showed y'all on the art of scribing. I showed y'all my notebooks that dated all the way back to like 2009. I showed you the dates, and I showed you I had 5, 6, 7 notebooks front to back. So it's me taking notes. It's me doing notes. This is what I'm saying. So I showed everybody what I was doing. So that's what it started from. Just me taking notes, astrology, numerology. You know what I mean? What EFT, meditation, Gnosticism, so on and so forth. Meditation, I already said that. But this is what I'm saying. So as time went on, it was just me constructing, building in my mind. To my mind got to a level where I projected myself into California, and I was able to go there physically. So that's my story in terms of just my introduction into all this. So I was studying everything, just I said the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. I know every spirit by heart. That's why I don't have to really go to my notes no more because I've been studying so much. I just have it so deep ingrained in my mind. Like I automatically know what the spirits are. I know the fifth spirit is Mars. You know what I mean? I already know what it is. I know where it is on the Tree of Life. It's on the left side. I know seven is Venus. You know what I mean? Obviously, one is Kether. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, 10 is Malkuth, the kingdom. You get what I'm saying? So, I just been studying it for so long. So, it's just in my mind. I finally caught you live. Yo, peace to you, Ebony. You know what I mean? We go way back. Shout out to you. Special shout out. You know what I mean? So, do you think the law of attraction is real? I mean, I feel like I'm a living proof of that. You get what I'm saying? Like, before, like you saw, I told you about the LA. Then, in 2015, I started to think about New York. I wanted to go to New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. I visualized myself as a ninja standing on top of a building, mastering the code. You get what I'm saying? So I'm a ninja standing on top of this building with my arms folded, and basically I'm just able to stand and take the cold because New York is all about the cold. LA was about the heat, so I'm like, all right, I got the heat, but it's time for me to master the cold. You know what I mean? That goes somewhere cold because I never really liked the cold because I grew up in Detroit, in the Midwest, and it was real cold. So it was I was like, yo, I have to master the cold just to master master the physical plane. So my whole intentions and thoughts behind all this was mastering the physical plane. So whether I'm in a hot climate or a cold climate or whatever, I'll be able to survive. And all this stuff. So. And it's funny, I just watched those videos, LA, New York, way cool, and the New York women seeing through those dresses and thongs. That's what I'm talking about. But it wasn't random. See, this is what I'm saying. It wasn't just one day I just decided to buy a ticket to New York. I constantly had these thoughts since 2015. And what it did was, when I started having those thoughts, I end up one day, I was with the homies. Shout out to the homies, Oz, Alejandro, you know what I mean? My homies in LA that always hold me down. We just started climbing mountains. So I had this vision, I put it in my mind. One day we all got together and we climbed the fucking mountain. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up? Yo, what's good, bro? We climbed the mountain, right? And then by the time we stopped climbing it, I looked back and you basically could see like the city. You can just see the on top of the city lights, like you're looking down, like on top of a building or something. So I was like, yo, this is the same vision I had in New York, but I'm having it in LA. But I put it in my mind first. You get what I'm saying? So I saw it in LA first, and it was cold as fuck. But because you was climbing up the mountain, you was generating enough heat and momentum within the body to not really feel the cold until you stop. So if you stop for about 7 minutes, you'll begin to feel the cold again. But I'm like, oh, so I came up here to master the cold. I mastered the cold because I didn't feel the cold until I stopped climbing the mountain. So when I actually went to New York, which you see the videos of me in New York, that was something I was cultivating in my mind for years. So when I actually went out there, of course, I'm going to document it. So the law of attraction is not, I'm not going to say it's just all based on positive thinking. Whereas it just, just think positive and all that. And I'm not gonna say it's that fucking simple because obviously you see all the struggles I went through. You get what I'm saying? So it's not just simply you like you see it like I'm describing like all the work, and this is not even all of it. So it's just constant work developing your astral sense or your astral sight. You have to develop the astral sight that you can penetrate into the astral plane instantly. But that took it took me months and months to even develop that sight. So it's not just about thinking positive. You have to develop the astral sight, and or in other words, open up the portal so that you can see into where you want to be and have an experience in there. Because the greatest experience I had to date, whereas I imagined, I laid down on the couch and I imagined me being in my childhood room. So I'm laying on the couch. I'm still conscious. I'm not even asleep. And it was maybe around like 9:30 in the morning, 10:30, because they say that's a secret window. If you're able between 9:30 and 10:30 a.m., that's like a secret window for you to astral travel. It's real easy to do that between that hour. You know what I mean? That's like if you study not ether, Indian or Vedic astrology and mythology, you know what I'm talking about. So at those times, I visualized myself in my childhood home and I instantly projected into it without losing consciousness, without going to sleep. I'm literally laying on the couch and I literally feel myself travel exactly to where the vision I've created in my mind. And now I'm in there. My consciousness projected into the vision. So I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm actually fucking here. Like this, I've never experienced that before. So I'm like, okay, if this shit is real, I started thinking like a scientist. I'm like, okay, if this shit is real, I should be able to, think of something in my mind and it appears. So I did it. I'm like, okay. I thought about something, it was right there. I'm like, okay. I thought about something else, it was right there. Then I put myself in, I was just walking around the house. Then I had this experience of, it was ancestors around or somebody. And I remember them saying it was something within the nature of it's not. I'm not quoting directly. I heard somebody say like when I'm on stage, I'm a particular person. But once the lights get cut off, I get back to the real shit. In other words, he's talking about we all have this physical experience. We all have to be whatever the fuck we have to be. You have to be a certain person in front of your family. You have to be a certain person when you on stage if you're an entertainer. You have to be a certain person conducting business. You have to be a certain person around your friends or whatever. We all have these multiple personalities that we project depending on who we're around and what environment we're in. But once all that is done, when you retreat back to yourself, when you inside your own home, within your own room, within, the confines of your own mind, that's who you really are. When you detach from the world and you are sitting within yourself in meditation and you are inside of your astral temple, that's your true self because that's where you are completely free of all these coats that we had to put on in the physical plane. That's why the physical plane is so draining because we had to do all this stuff and put on all this stuff. But at the end of the day, when you retreat from all the bullshit and you are in your astral temple, that's when the true spiritual work goes down. And if you can manifest from the astral temple. So instead of trying to manifest with your hands, you can manifest from the astral temple. And what I mean by that is, as I was saying, where you see something before it happens because you have developed your astral sight. So it's not just you using your imagination when you're conscious, it's you using your imagination when you're in that realm, as I was describing earlier, where you can project yourself without losing consciousness, without even having to go to sleep. You can project your consciousness into whatever place you envision yourself and literally create a whole different scenario right in front of your eyes. It's really hard to explain because it's something like it's not physical. It's something. It's just you start to see how dynamic and how vast the mind is when you start to really exercise a third eye and see what this stuff is. What do you think about supreme mathematics? You know what I mean? That's my foundation because when I went out to LA, I was still like an Orthodox Muslim. Although I was studying all this extra stuff, I was still within the household of an Orthodox Sunni Muslim household. Then I got this book called Knowledge of Self. And in the back of the book, they had like emails of guides on, on various cities. So I hit up the emails of the guides that was in LA. They reached back, and I went through my initiation. It took me 9 months. I mastered, not mastered, but I memorized 120 and all that. Supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet. So that's definitely part of my foundation. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Culture, freedom, power, refinement, equality, God, build or destroy, born, cipher. You know what I mean? Like they already know about all that stuff. So I don't have nothing bad to say about it. You know what I mean? If you can combine your supreme mathematics with your supreme alphabet and have your 120 as your foundation, then take that out to the world, whether you want to decode the Bible, the Quran, or any book you reading or any people, you can use that tool. Those are tools you can use to decode reality as well. So just depending on what you resonate with. So I definitely have walked through that school. So it definitely helped me. It put the thought within me to start to teach. Because before that, I was just studying for myself. But when I was around the 5%, that really put it in my mind like, yo, I have to spread this. It's not really something just for me. It's for me to spread it. It's for me. So that was really my introduction into teaching. Not that this is before I was making videos, but I was going around LA, trying to, at least teach people, give people a greater sense of who and what they are. But that went as far as it went, but that's translated into me doing what I'm doing now. So that definitely is one of my foundations. So, peace to the guys on earth, definitely, without question. So, going back, this is all about you're so smart, it's amazing you understand all this. I mean, when you've been doing this shit since you was a teenager, see, like a lot of people, I guess my experience is different because everything that I'm doing now, it's like this is just a continuation of what I've been doing since I was a teenager. Because when I was a teenager, I was dancing, I was hip hop, dancing hip hop, crump, all this stuff, playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, video games, which helped me develop my strategy and, chess, playing chess. I'm being around other like minds. Then again, 18, I'm studying manifestation and all that. So I was fortunate to get all this stuff young. So now it's just a continuation of it. So I wasn't, a lot of people get it when they older. I was just fortunate enough to get it when I was younger. So it's just that I've been doing it, even though I'm still young. I've been doing it. I got 10 years in, a little bit longer than that. So I've just been cultivating for the last 10 years. So and I took this more seriously than anything else. Like I wasn't really playing basketball and sports and out here, chasing women and all that stuff. I was just literally just in my mind. Even before I even knew I was gonna do a YouTube or all this stuff, it was just me constantly cultivating this stuff. Used to do a collaboration with Teal Swan. I would pay to see that. If anybody reach out and want to do some shit, it is what it is. So if they can handle this raw shit, I know I've been pretty calm today, but you know how crazy it can get. I'll be talking about some real stuff that people may not be ready to hear. So let me take a breath. I'm just rambling. Because all this is just portal manifestation and dimension transportation. This is all I'm talking about. This is all throat chakra, third eye, and crown chakra. But you got to get through the heart. To get through the heart, you got to forgive yourself. Meaning, what do I mean by forgive myself or yourself? See, that's the reason I don't really fuck with the new age, because it's soft. And what I mean by soft is I'm not for that love everybody. It's like fuck everybody. I don't care to be a certain type of way for nobody or doing all to be around certain motherfuckers. It's about forgiving yourself. Can you forgive yourself for your past mistakes, or are you still mad about some shit that happened in the past or a situation that didn't turn out? Because we start to build up etheric blockages within ourselves because we still be holding ourselves back depending on some shit we doing. It don't really have nothing to do with nobody else. If you can forgive yourself, like the 42 negative confessions of Mayat, I have not done this, I have not done that, so on and so forth. If you can forgive yourself for all the bullshit you did in the past that you may not be proud of, or if you can forgive yourself or just realize that every day you're a new person. You could have killed the person yesterday out of self-defense. Not that you were just looking to kill somebody. You might have had to fucking take somebody's life to protect your own life or protect your family life. Are you going to wake up every day regretting that you had to take somebody's life, which is going to, have you feel a certain type of way. It may lead you to depression and all that, or you're just going to realize, like, I just did what I had to do. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You remorseful to the family, whatever. It's an unfortunate situation, but goddamn, you got to keep moving. Bills got to still be paid and shit. So you know what I mean? It's about you being able to leave all that shit, all that bullshit in the past that you may have done to somebody else, and you start to beat yourself, because that's really the only thing that hold people back is how we feel about what the fuck we did, or what we may not have did something or said something that may have hurt somebody and all that stuff. Then people start to translate that, and now I want to love everybody. I want to be kind to everybody. You know what I mean? I don't mind saying fuck you to anybody who is on the bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't mind whooping somebody's ass. I don't mind shooting a motherfucker if that's what needs to be done. Not that I'm promoting violence, but if a motherfucker brings violence to you, you gotta fucking cap their ass if that's the situation you put in. I don't feel no type of way about doing that. I'm gonna go to sleep and lose no sleep over this shit. But talk to one of these new age motherfuckers, they'd be looking at you crazy. You start talking like that. It ain't about that. So this is what I mean. Some people translate that shit into the outside. They want to project love and light to people. No, you project that to yourself. That's what you humble yourself to yourself. You don't humble yourself to other people, other fucking humans and shit. We are human. We all bleed. You don't humble yourself to another man or woman. You humble yourself to yourself. And when you humble yourself to yourself, to your own spirit and your own soul, so that you can have a greater sense of who and what you are, that's going to reflect the type of energy you give to other people. And that's the first thing. You don't just be nice and give love. You have to start with yourself. Love yourself and give to yourself. And that's going to reflect outward. You know what I mean? You don't just start giving love to everybody else and doing this shit and being nice and being kind, and you still beating yourself up internally. That's not a balance. So you get yourself right, you get your own heart chakra right first. Then when your own heart chakra, when you forgive yourself and when you're not tripping over the bullshit, then you will display kindness and sincerity and faithfulness automatically once you are over the shit within your own heart. Because some people, again, you will notice it. Some people try to be kind and nice and all that, but if you ask them about themselves, they don't really have confidence within themselves. You know what I mean? You can tell the difference. So it's all about having that balance. I need to hear this word. Thank you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So fuck that. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat yourself as the king or the god or the emperor or the empress or the goddess you are first. Treat yourself how you want to be treated first. That means don't beat yourself up over bullshit first. And when you stop beating yourself up and when you heal yourself from all the bullshit, then that's going to naturally reflect when you just treat people with kindness and all that. But that's going to come from within you instead of it's an act you're trying to put on because you feel like that's what you have to do. That's the difference. It's not an act. You sincerely are forgiving of yourself first. That's the difference. And that's what I'm saying. You don't really hear too many people saying it from that perspective. You got to forgive yourself first. What do you do if you trapped in a paradigm? If you trapped in a paradigm, you gotta bust the fuck out. This is what I mean. If you want to really get out of something, you use sex magic. What do I mean? Bring yourself to a fucking orgasm. Throat chakra. When you are because when you get to the peak of orgasm, you go into a trance state for like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. That's all you need though. So for those 2 or 3 seconds that you make yourself orgasm, or you are in the sexual act with a partner, depending on whatever your situation may be, when you briefly enter that trance state, you imagine this blue light going into your throat, penetrating your throat, exploding and imploding. You do all this shit in 3 seconds. Then from that point on, that's you cleansing that. Because again, Mercury, if you change your house to a number 5 house, that cleanses, that gives you a clean slate. So whatever you feel weighed down, you around negative people, you around low vibrational people, if you want to level the playing field, you channel Mercury. So that's why, the emphasis is on Mercury today. That's why it's Wednesday, the day of Mercury. So sorry about that. That's what I'm talking about. So if you want to cleanse yourself, you want to escape any paradigm, you want to change your reality, you do it through the throat chakra, you do it through Mercury, you do it through the number 5. You know what I mean? That's as simple as I can make it. What's a paradigm? It's like a reality. For example, like I was just saying, some people put themselves in certain paradigms because they have certain shit on their chest. that they will not release, that stop them from loving, stop them from being in healthy relationships, destroying relationships because they're insecure or because of this or whatever. All this internal shit puts you in a paradigm that cuts you off from real shit. Because you got all this shit around yourself. You can just rub your heart chakra and you can feel the warmth, and it makes you feel at peace. Like you can rub your own heart chakra and it starts to spin, and you will automatically feel relief. So with that being said, you can put yourself in a paradigm having too much stuff on your chest and it's not being properly released. Again, use the same technique for the heart chakra and you will see the difference. My house is number 3 right now, and I'll add a number 2 to the door, make it a number 5. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So now y'all getting the point. So, and you will see. So number 3 is the planet of Jupiter. So it's all about, it's more of a fun house. It's more about, having fun, partying, socializing, and even like philosophy. You know what I mean? You get into it's like the house of philosophy. So on one end you have philosophy, and on the other end you have like extravagance. People just doing stuff to have fun. It's like a real light vibe. So once you change to a number 5, it's going to level out the playing field, and it's going to completely change everything that you was thinking. Is going to get you more so in the state of you start to manifest new ideas and new thoughts and new this and new that. So everything that you was thinking previously is going to it's going to be a shift. And again, and everybody, if you don't believe it or you never experience it, then I'm giving you the technique so you can see for yourself. So you can take it as high or low as you want to take it. So if you are in a low vibrational relationship or around low vibrational people, change your house to a number 5, leveling out the playing field, clean the house. It's not about changing other people. See, that's the thing. People are going to be people. Humans are going to be humans. So it's not about changing people. It's about letting the shit off of your chest. You stop feeling bad about yourself that's keeping you in that situation. See, this is what I mean. You may be in an unhealthy relationship, but you don't go nowhere because you feel like I have to be here maybe because of money or financial responsibilities or kids or whatever it is, or you just don't want to be on your own. So you have all this shit on your chest that's stopping you from doing what's necessary. So once you get this shit off your chest, you're going to be able to easily move to a new paradigm, but you have to first get the shit off your chest because you can't even activate the throat chakra, again, without going past the heart. And this is what I mean. So the spiritual chakras, you have to go through the heart. You got to go through the heart. You got to forgive yourself. You got to release all the negativity before you even work with these spiritual chakras. So you got to start at the heart. Clean environment, positive attitude. This is what I'm saying. So you may be in an environment where you may be around unclean people who don't want to clean up after themselves or don't want to do all this shit, but that's because they had a low vibe. So you may be in a situation where even if you try to raise the vibrations up, you may be around other people that's just going to lower the shit anyway because they're not in that mindset. You get what I'm saying? You can do all the fucking dishes in the sink and they're just going to dirty them up again. You can fucking clean the house, they're just going to fuck it up again. So in situations like that, that's for you to explore your own heart. Like, okay, do I really want to continue to be in this situation? Or is it really, you got to, again, we're having a certain experience because this is what we feel we must go through. When you release all the bullshit from your heart, you'll realize, okay, I don't have to be here, or you figure out a way to fucking navigate through it, or you just decide to be away from the house. Like, fuck it, I'm just going to go outside and just spend most of my time outside, and I only come back, to go in my room and go to sleep. I don't really deal with it. It all depends on how you think in your mind. So again, you got to get that shit off your chest first, because it'll be people in certain situations that may just give up. Like, fuck it, I want to be this spiritual person. I want to be happy. I want to be positive, but I'm just stuck in a certain situation. So anytime you're feeling stuck, you know what I mean? You got to, channel number 5. Open up the portal to Mercury and allow it to cleanse the energy so that you can go to the higher chakras and start to go to different dimensions. And really, if you really truly want to do spiritual work, yes, you have to be in a clean environment. You have to be in a spiritual environment. You have to construct an astral temple, and that's another thing. So if you don't physically have a space, looks like right here, I'm outside. I can just sit on one of these rocks or whatever. Right? I'll do this shit right now. Because this is like, it's a lot of crazy stuff. I sit on one of these rocks. Right? Sit on a rock. Because you see, nobody around, right? Nobody's around here. Nobody's walking. See, the closest people around are those houses. That's all the way over there in the fucking freeway, right? So I can go into meditation right now, go into my astral temple that I created for myself and start doing my spiritual work. So instead of me feeling like I have to be amongst other people, I gotta be around people who don't respect my privacy or don't give a fuck about my lifestyle. Take your ass outside, get into meditation, get into a place. You may be around where it's more nature. You go into a forest. You go somewhere where you are not disturbed. If you can't find that space within your own household, then you have to go find a place. You have to use your willpower, which is the solar plexus. So if you don't have enough will, again, this is why it's a journey. So if you're taking it from, I just do it like this. I go up to each chakra so you can see what each chakra represents on that level. So the root chakra, it's about your foundation. It's about you being grounded into what type of spiritual system or spiritual lifestyle you're grounded to. So it's about being connected to your roots. So whatever that is for you, for some people it may be Gnosticism, it may be Islam, it may be Judaism, it may be just a variety of spiritual things, but you know the type of lifestyle that you want to live. You know, if you a certain diet or a certain environment you want to be in. So it's about you going into yourself and you creating an image of what type of situation do I want to be in, what type of roots do I want to plant this seed in, like who are you, you know what I mean, what is your foundation? That's the root chakra. So you do the meditation I described earlier and exercise the root chakra so you can get more into that. You start to think about that on a deeper level. See, that's the thing, it's hard to really channel certain portals without powering up the chakra that's associated with that thought. So if you want to have certain thoughts and strengthen certain thoughts, you have to power up the chakra, get the chakra spinning, spin up the chakra. So again, the best way to do that is use the sex force because that's the strongest force in the universe. You use the sex force, get the chakra spinning, then ask yourself these questions and the answers will come to you in a more direct fashion. Then you go to the sacral chakra, which is your creativity chakra, which is where the creativity comes from. So once you have an idea what your foundation is, and once you have established your foundation, now you activate your creativity to go about, well, how am I going to go about doing these things using my creativity? So I mean, so you use your creativity to go about life, not necessarily physical moving, because that's more so the sacral chakra. But this is just getting into a creative mindset, so that you start to channel creative thoughts to see, okay, well, how can I implement this in the physical realm? Because again, this is straight physical. Before we even get to the astral planes and all that, this is just a physical plane. So you get into the root, you go into the sacral chakra or the sex chakra, which is this is now you're channeling in the creative energy to have these thoughts so that you can think beyond who you know and what you know and all this stuff. Whatever you feel like is holding you back, you use this creative energy to go beyond who you know, what you know. Now you have new thoughts and new creative thoughts so that you can start to think in a whole different higher frequency. So the sacral chakra is for you to have these creative thoughts which clean and level out the plane. Once you are rooted in your foundation, now you cleanse all the bullshit and you start to have new thoughts, new creative thoughts to see how you can do that. Then once you go to the sacral chakra, the solar plex, not the sacral, the solar plexus, your mini sun, that's your willpower and that's your self-talk, meaning the type of conversation you have within yourself, your self-talk as well as your willpower. So now that you have these creative thoughts, now that you have some type of game plan, now that you are creative, so that now you can move, now you implement your willpower. Your willpower is what's going to actually get you up and actually exercise your physical body. That's the solar plexus, where you actually get up and make the shit happen physically. So those are the lower three chakras. You ground yourself in your foundation. You utilize your creativity to go to the next field or the next dimension or the next vibration so that you can truly manifest this as a manifestation power, getting yourself in the manifestation or creative mindset, then the solar plexus to actually get up and get the shit done using your willpower and having positive feedback for yourself so that you don't, get distracted and you stay motivated. That's all the solar plexus. So it keeps you motivated and it keeps you energized and fulfilled. Then you get to the heart chakra, which is basically you forgiving yourself. And again, you basically loving yourself and you basically feel like you deserve all the stuff that you're working towards. You get into a place where you feel like, yo, this is me, this is who I am. Fuck what was going on in the past. Fuck where I came from. Fuck all the bullshit. This is you truly accepting it. So once you cultivate the lower three chakras, the heart chakra is really the crossroads. So are you really going to continue to walk this path, this new created path that you created for yourself? Or are you going to have you like, fuck it, I'm only here to do a certain thing, or I don't feel like I can accomplish this or do this. This is when you make that choice. That's why it's a crossroad. Are you truly accepting the lifestyle you created for yourself, or are you going to go backwards? Once you truly accept your new lifestyle and your new creative thoughts and your new foundation, and you have the willpower, you got to accept it. So it's all about acceptance. You accepting your soul's mission or your soul's path beyond just the physical shit. So that's the heart chakra. And then you go to the higher chakras, the throat, which is now the words, not the words you speak. Now you are speaking it into existence because now you have approved it. Now you accept the lifestyle. Now you're speaking it into existence. So now everything that you're saying, the words that you're saying are now creating your reality because now you're speaking in terms that's going to help you manifest. That's going to give you, you're going to speak positive in the positive light. You're going to give people inspiration and motivation. So now that your words and, you vibrate your vocal cords, now you're vibrating on the frequency that you are creating. Now that you are vibrating with your words or your verbals on the frequency you are creating, you start to activate your third eye. Now you start to cultivate that astral temple. You start to cultivate it, and you be able to see it. So now that you're speaking it, you're speaking that frequency into existence. Now you are painting a picture with the third eye. So now that you're speaking it, so now it's like when you speak it, you give it shape and form. You give it shape or form when you speak it, then you start to color it with your third eye. Your third eye, now you start to color in the details. So when you were speaking it into existence, the third eye is going to color in the details, all the little details, all the subtleties. Because that's why you say you always got to be very detailed, and whether you have goals or whatever, you have to be as detailed as you possibly can. You don't want to leave no space for interpretation. You want to be as detailed as possible. You know what I mean? Really, like what type of furniture it is, what type of this, what type of that, where, when, why, what times, and all that. So you color in the details with the third eye. So that's when you give it color. And finally, the crown is when you are connected to the cosmic source or your higher self or your holy guardian angel, whatever you want to call it. So that's you connected to the cosmic source. So the root chakra is you connected to the foundation, and the crown chakra is you being connected to the cosmic source, which is basically who you already was in the first place, just on a cosmic level. So now you are channeling in from the up. So you got it from the down or the root. So you're pulling energy from the earth, and now you're pulling energy from the ethers or from the stars or from the ancestors or whatever you want to call it. Now you're pulling in that cosmic energy, which is basically the ether, which and that's what it is. So at that point, you speak it into existence, you color in the detail, now you channel in the energy that's necessary for you to live in that mentally. So you already in it physically. With the lower three chakras, you accept it. Then the higher three chakras is to get the mental and the spiritual aspects on point. Now you bring both of the worlds together into one, and that's manifestation. Opening up these portal manifestation and dimension transportation. That's the whole process right there. Just in basic, brief terms. You know what I mean? Without the complicated bullshit. So that's what it is. So this is the whole point of this. Hold on, it's getting pretty dark. How do you train that? Does it take a while to be in tune with each one? Just give yourself 21 days. 3 weeks. They say it takes 21 days to develop a habit, right? So in 21 days, that gives you time to work each chakra 3 times. You know what I mean? Sunday, the sun, or the crown chakra, the frequencies, yeah. You know what I mean? Right. If you wanna use binaural beats, certain frequencies, do it. Because use a frequency that resonates with each chakra. Each chakra resonates with a certain frequency. If that's what you want to meditate with, isochronic tones or binaural beats or certain frequencies, let they say 528 resonates with the heart chakra. If that's what you want to do, then do it. You know what I mean? So there is no right or wrong way to do it. And this is what I'm talking about. So going back to the days, give yourself 21 days. So Sunday, the day of the sun, the crown chakra, cultivate the crown chakra. Monday, day of the moon, cultivate the third eye. Tuesday, Mars, cultivate the solar plexus. Wednesday, Mercury, cultivate the throat chakra. Thursday, Jupiter, cultivate the sacral chakra. Friday, Venus, or the heart chakra, cultivate the heart chakra. Then Saturday, Saturn, cultivate the root chakra. So you do this 3 times. So by the end of these 21 days, you should be fully rooted in whatever reality you want to be in. So not that you're gonna fucking have a bunch of 528 was on my TV when you said that. See, that may be the number you need to work with there. You know what I mean? So work with 528. So for these 21 days, you should be able to cultivate this you being fully rooted in the person you want to be. Basically, you have self-created. This is self-creation. So you give yourself 21 days to create yourself, your new self, and whoever you visualize yourself to be, and you're walking in that frequency at this point. So you should be firmly rooted in 21 days. Then from that point, you just do whatever. It should be second nature to do whatever you need to do to get into that frequency and manifest that and all that. So you know what I mean. You should be able to. Everything should be second nature at that point. Just give yourself 21 days. So dedicate every day to working with each chakra and do it 3 times. You know they say 3 is a magic number, right? So this is what I mean. 21 days, 2 plus 1, and also 3. You know what I mean? So just use that 21-day thing. You know what I mean? So let me get over here. So I think I described this shit as much detail as I possibly can. You know what I mean? So again, this is so you see the difference. Let me see. Where was the sun? So you see Vegas is all about mountains. So you see the background of these mountains. So you see the still kind of light over here, but it's dark as fuck over here. Dark as fuck. Then still a little light over here. You just see the silhouettes of these mountains. Appreciate you detailing these techniques, no doubt, man. No doubt. I think you know. Let me see if you can see it. Let me see. So I see it right now. Can y'all see this star? It may, y'all may not be able to see it. Hold on, bro. Let me get off of these. Can y'all see this star? Let me see if y'all can see this star. Hold on. Speak on deja vu. You will start to have more deja vu once you start to cultivate, the dreams. You're just cultivating your dreams. Hold on, I'm starting to see if y'all can see this star. There it is. Y'all see that star? Let me see, right here. Y'all see that shit? See this? You see that? That's what I'm talking about. You see my finger? You see this star? Yeah, you can see that shit. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. So definitely New Year's. You know what I mean? It's definitely a New Year's. Get into the frequency. If you break down the word serious, what does it break down to? The number 5. So what is that telling you, right? It's all connected. So definitely in honor of Sirius, definitely working with number 5. I just changed my house number to a number 5. That's why I'm out here making a video on Wednesday. You know what I mean? Wednesday, number 5, cultivating the throat chakra. So this is all, you know what I mean? If you plan it like that and you really take it seriously, you're definitely going to see results instantly. You know what I mean? It don't have to be 2 days, 3 days. You can see same day results just on this type of thoughts you have and the type of frequency you want and what type of things you want to do. You know what I mean? So deja vu is just really is you start to cultivate your spirituality, you would start to see things before they happen. Because again, if we were all truly connected to our dreams, you would see everything before it happens. Just because we forget majority of our dreams, we don't really see it. But the more you start to remember your dreams, the more you start to, create your astral temple and you start to detail all these things, you will be able to see a lot of things before they happen. And it'll be every day. Every day you will see something that reminds you of a dream you had if you remember your dreams. So the more you remember your dreams, the more you experience deja vu. So what's your outtake on skeptical, Vesica Pisces? Well, I don't really have a perspective on the Vesica Pisces. You know, it's just a pussy, the sacred pussy. You know what I mean? The third eye. You know what I mean? The womb, the matrix that you create within your own mind. So you know what I mean? Everything. It just really depends on you. Like, for example, everybody is going to create the reality that they create based on their perspective of life, based on what they've been through, based on how they feel about themselves. See, all these things are the necessary elements that we all have access to. And based on how you use your alchemy, it's going to determine, you know, your outcome. So it just depends on what you want to do with it. Like, there is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad. Energy is neutral. It's all about how you cultivate the energy that you want to use. It's all neutral. So again, that's another thing. You cleanse yourself of your heart chakra, get out of that good or bad frequency. Don't limit yourself to right or wrong, good or bad. That's a limiting state of mind. Like, this is good, this is bad. Why? Because it's illegal. Since when does spirituality base itself off what's legal or what's illegal based on what some man said or what some absurd society said? Because everything that's illegal today was at some point legal in the past. So everything that's illegal right now was not this way at some point in time. But spirit has always been spirit. So just because something may be looked down upon or frowned upon at this moment in time doesn't mean that it's something that you shouldn't be doing. It's just that it may not be cool to do now, but that's just now. Again, it's just history repeats itself, and history will show you there's always a time where shit was completely different. There was a time where you had women, queens, ruling shit, then you had kings ruling shit. You had people that worship the goddess, then you had people that worship gods. You know what I mean? You have people that worship demons. You have people that worship angels. It's just depending on what time period that you study, you're going to see that everybody has been doing everything. There was a time where witches was the top motherfuckers. Then it's a time where, on these times where technology is the top motherfucker, they prefer a new iPhone before they would like to understand how nature works. You get what I'm saying? They're more, technology is king now. It's dominant now. You know what I mean? People will want a MacBook before they want a dictionary, you know, to study that shit. That's just the times we in. But that doesn't necessarily make the dictionary irrelevant, because you can still learn, you know, as much as you learn on the fucking internet, you can learn from a dictionary. So it just depending on the time you come from. It was a time where you had to remember all the stuff in your head because there was no internet. You couldn't just type something in Google and have access to it. You had to actually know it, and you had to actually study it. So people were more valuable before, and now you see in these times people value technology over actual people, to the point where you have machines that's, you know, taking people's jobs and stuff. But these are just these times. So don't let these times influence your soul, because your soul is older than the times we're currently going through with the physical body. And that's what I'm saying. So a lot of spirituality is forbidden. You know what I mean? A lot of things are forbidden because of the times we in. That they would prefer that you do things in a way that cultivates somebody else's culture and you not cultivate your own culture. Everything that's considered a demon today was once something highly, you know, worshipped and highly honored in the past. So all the stuff that's bad and all this stuff, it was honored at a certain point. You know what I mean? Should you act out on your demons if you keep having the same dream over years? I keep having the same dream and I know what it means, and I just don't know if I should do what it's telling me to do. What is it telling you to do? You know what I mean? If it's telling you to kill somebody, what is it telling you to do? And if it is telling you to kill somebody, what, you know what I mean? Do they deserve death? And that's the thing, you know what I mean? We have the ability to spiritually kill a motherfucker. Nobody want to talk about that shit, but that's why witchcraft and shit like that is so feared. You know what I mean? You have the ability, you don't have to go up and blast somebody. You can fucking put a hex and shit on people and fucking take motherfuckers out if they don't have proper protection, which majority of people don't. You know what I mean? They just think they being attacked by a demon or something, and they'll fucking go crazy and they don't even know what's going on when it's just fucking yo ass, you know what I mean, fucking with them using that black magic, using death spells and shit. Get their ass off of this shit. But it all depends on who and what you are. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta see what it means. Lead a country. I mean, you know what I mean? If you want to lead a country, lead a fucking country. And again, what makes you think it's a demon? You know what I mean? If it's just telling you you know what I mean? It ain't really. What's wrong with leaving the country? There's nothing good or bad about that. It's just a change of environment, change of language, is a change of frequency. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if you've been having this shit for years and years and years and years and years, obviously it's something that isn't going to go away. And what do you really have to lose? The worst that can happen is you end up, oh, this wasn't a good decision, just then move back home. You know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? So again, have you heard of many people paying off their debt now with Fed, Trust Acts, and Social Security numbers as their bank accounts? I mean, people been doing all type of shit. I don't necessarily know exactly about this stuff. I don't really get too deep into like what type of frauds and scams people have going on nowadays because I'm not really into scamming motherfuckers. And if that's, but some people are because they're not in tune with their spirituality. See, that's the thing. See, everybody that's out here that feel like they gotta. Oh yeah, didn't say nothing about a demon, right? You said act out. You said act out on your dreams, right? That was my bad. So you did say act out on your dreams. So if you having the same dream that you need to lead a country, then lead a country. Yeah. So that was definitely my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had the dream twice. I can remember my dreams. Another person they stuck in a negative lifestyle. See, that's the thing. We tend to get too caught up with other people. Just leave people alone. Because nobody had to fucking tell you to get on your spirituality. You just did it because that was in your heart. So anybody that's not connected with their spirituality, they rather just be on their fucking iPhones and entertain themselves on YouTube all day and not cultivate their spirituality. They have every right to do that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm no longer concerned about what anybody else is doing. I don't get mad because people don't want to listen to what I have to say or they're not a certain way spiritually. That's completely up to them. They don't. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing or I just don't get involved in it. That's what literally takes us down because we be so worried about other people. And again, it may be because they family members. It may be because they're close friends. It may be that we just don't like to see other people suffer, but they don't want to listen to nobody else. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, if nobody had to tell you to wake up, nobody had to tell you to get in your spirituality, nobody had to tell you to study and truly remember who and what you are and what you're here to do and focus on your soul and your soul's mission. Nobody had to tell you that shit. That's just something you gravitated towards naturally. Then how can we tell somebody else to do it and they just don't listen? You can't blame them for not listening because you probably wouldn't listen either. If somebody was telling you some shit, you know what I mean? Peace, 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 God. So if somebody was telling you the same shit you was telling yourself, you probably wouldn't listen either. Somebody, hey, you need to read this book, you need to do this, you need to do this, you probably wouldn't listen to them either. You only listen to yourself because it was natural to you. It was coming from within. It wasn't coming from another outside source. So with that being said, there's going to always be people that's going to be lower on the low vibration, whether it's family, friends, co-workers, or people that we don't even know. There's always going to be people that suffer because they don't know how to tame their own thoughts. It's going to be ignorance. They're just going to suffer and they're going to die in their own ignorance, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's not for us to do anything about it. It's only for us. The only thing we have control over is us. That's it. So there's no point of us getting bent out of shape about what somebody else is doing or what somebody else, how they choose to live their life and all that. That's completely up to them. There's nothing we can do. And that's the thing. If you know Star Wars, right? I'm pretty sure like most of y'all have seen the Star Wars movies, you know what I mean? I think it's 7 of them now, maybe 8, I'm not sure. But the whole thing was what? Anakin was attached to his fucking mother, right? He was so attached to his mother that it drove him to pretty much insanity. And when his mom died, he started to have an attachment to his wife, right? And at the end of the day, he ended up losing all of it and became Darth Vader. But that came from attachment. That's why they didn't let him be a Jedi Master. They didn't let him sit on the throne because he was attached to his mother. He would not let it go. And also the other Jedis, they were not in relationships. Because they were like, we don't fuck with that love shit. So they were all men of themselves, and I think it was women as well. I'm not sure, but they didn't get involved in all that relationship shit, and they didn't have attachments. But because he did, he was not allowed to sit on the throne, and it drove him to insanity. That's what opened his mind up to be influenced by the dark side. And it's not that the dark side is evil, because you can use it to your benefit and not harm people. But that's what made him go crazy, because he was attached to his fucking mother, and he would not. He couldn't let it go. And that's the same thing. Sometimes we be so attached to other people, places, and things, and we can't let it go, and that drives us to places, the real dark places. If you really think about it, peace, peace, peace. If you really think about it, when you was in your darkest times, and your darkest emotions, and your darkest whatever it is, it had something to do with somebody else, right? Somebody else may have died. They said something to you. Something happened. It was because of what was going on with somebody else. It wasn't just because we are just negative people by heart, you know what I mean? It was because we're worrying about other people. We worry about other people so much that it lowers our vibration, worrying about people that don't even worry about themselves. They're not even tripping as much as you tripping about them, because you may have a big heart. But at the end of the day, don't allow your big heart to drive you to a real negative place and have you spinning out of control. That's the whole point. See, all these movies are metaphysical. It lets you know about what really happens within us. I've been trying to get more into the dark shit, finding bits and pieces, but wonder if you could say a few more topics that I can study up on. I mean, the dark side, it's all about control. See, this is the thing. The dark side is more chaotic. You get what I'm saying? So you can easily lose yourself, as opposed to people prefer people to be at the light because it's easy to navigate it and it's easy to control people. But the dark side, there is no hierarchy. There is no do this, do that, do that. This is just complete darkness and complete madness. But the point is attainment, or to exist within the chaos. So you can either try to tame the chaos, which can't be fucking tamed, or learn how to exist within the chaos, because that's all life is, right? Every day we wake up, we have no idea what's going to happen. So every day we go out into the world, we're just subjecting ourselves to chaos because we have no idea what's going to happen. So we learn to live in the midst of the chaos. There is no peace. Peace on earth doesn't exist. You look at the animal kingdom, there's a motherfucking lion killing a sheep right now. It's a motherfucking ant biting off another ant's head to survive. It's ants invading somebody's house because they didn't left honey on the fucking counter or something. They didn't invaded their house, and they getting that fucking honey, and they gonna come in with all their soldiers, and you basically gotta kill them to even, stop the shit. So the animal kingdom doesn't exist on moralism. Motherfuckers, a bear is tearing somebody up. Somebody's getting killed right now by some wildlife. And on Earth, there's somebody getting shot right now. Somebody's dying from a heart attack. Somebody's fucking overdosing on a drug. All this shit is happening all at the same time. So peace and love and light, the shit doesn't exist. You get what I'm saying? It's just that we can create a space for ourselves so that we don't have to deal with that within the comfort of our own home. But at the end of the day, an infinite knowledge again for you, but adding Baphomet to my life was the most purposeful thing you've ever introduced to me, for me emotionally and spiritually. Appreciate that, you know what I mean? Baphomet, definitely. Put the image of Baphomet up in your home or your wall, print that shit out, Baphomet, type in Baphomet, you know what I mean? Put that shit on your wall, meditate to it as you go to sleep, communicate with Baphomet in your dreams, and you will definitely be guided correctly. And that's the thing. So if we understand chaos, this is all the dark side is. The dark side is just truth. We are in a chaotic world. It just is what it is. No matter how positive you think, you're not going to stop this wild shit from happening. You may not perceive it personally. You may be in a good space personally, but that's because we create our own reality. But outside of what's going on with us, within us personally, outside of that is fucking chaos everywhere. You got people that don't like each other. Majority of the world is not spiritual. Majority of the world isn't fucking in tune to this frequency. Majority of the world is on some bullshit. And that's just, it is what it is. So when you got to go outside and you deal with customers and business clients and all these people, you dealing with pure chaos. Majority of the people have no idea who they are, don't know what spiritual path they on. They just getting by. Just paying fucking bills, just doing what they gotta do, just fucking people over or whatever the case is, right? That's just all they're doing. So with that being said, we have to protect ourselves within this chaos. Just effortlessly. That's what I'm saying. So the dark side is just understanding that we are amongst chaos and that we have to learn to live within the chaos. Every day the energy is different, as I was explaining earlier. Every day is ruled by a different planet. Every day is going to be different. So all that said, same shit, different day, or every day I'm getting to another day, another dollar, all that bullshit people say, that does not hold true. I prefer positivity, but too much envy in the world and everybody away from everybody. You know what I mean? Of course. You can be as positive as you want to, and you should. You shouldn't have dark thoughts about other people, places, and things and all that. Keep yourself balanced. However, you are the exception. Because everybody else, majority of the people do not think like that. Majority of these people out here are not positive people at all. They may be outwardly positive or kind, but as I said before, within their heart, it's a whole different story. This is what I'm saying. So it's positive, just like religious people may be positive people, but they're still religious and they still have enemies. A Christian doesn't like a Muslim because of a difference of opinion. They may be kind, but they're not going to the mosque. The mosque is not going to the fucking church. They're still divided because of a difference of opinion or a difference of lifestyle. So, although we all in this situation together, we're all on this earth together, we all human beings, we all having the same experience, everybody is divided by a difference of opinion. So there will never be peace on earth because there's too many people divided, but that's always been that way. It's always been chaos. It's never going to change. But at the end of the day, you learn how to navigate within it. That's the whole point of the dark side. You learn to navigate within it. So that's why you channel the energies of Baphomet. You work with the planet Saturn. You get what I'm saying? You work with all these energies to help you navigate through the chaos because it's not going to change. That's why you have protection spells, because there's motherfuckers out here that's doing some real wicked shit that don't want to see you come up, that don't want to see you live the type of lifestyle you live. There's people out here on the hunt that'll fucking rob you, that'll want to kill you, do all this stuff. Do you think we have soulless beings here? Absolutely. You get what I'm saying? There's motherfuckers out here that kill animals, that don't give them their just dues. You know what I mean? They kill animals. Like, even if you eat animal, that's cool. But what chakra is associated with Thursday? The sacral chakra, your creative chakra, your sex chakra. So it's people out here that's killing animals, that don't give them a just due, that don't say prayers over it. You know what I mean? That's just doing whatever the fuck they want to do because it's all about money. So that's the thing. Because money make the world go round, people have detached themselves from spirituality. Before we was using money like money as we use it now, when it was just based on trading things, you know what I mean? I give you a sheep, you give me a cow or whatever that shit. You were taking care of your livestock because you had to. Nobody's going to take a beat up ass cow or a beat up ass sheep. They're going to take one that's healthy and that can be prosperous. So you had to take care of your livestock because you had to trade it directly. But now you don't necessarily know where that dollar may have came from. You may be exchanging money, but you don't necessarily know what people had to do to get it, and it's not really written on that dollar. So people don't have to be spiritual. They don't have to give people their just due. That's why you have people fucking people over just to get money. You're not going to know. You just taking money. We just, exchanging money. You never know. Funny you mentioned spells. Completed that do. That's Mercury there. Mercury channeling the fire. The candle burn resembling a woman holding a bucket. Absolutely. Mercury is definitely connected with the planet Sirius. Can eating meat push you in a negative state? The spell was for positivity. Eating meat will put you in a negative state if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. See, that's the thing. That you can say eating meat is actually dark magic, because we in the times where I could have seen that was straight admitting they were soulless. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Like, people was on bullshit. So getting back to the meat shit, the reason why like the new age and people are like going to the vegan diet is because of the energy. They're becoming more conscious of the energy radiating for the animals. It's really just the way the animals are treated and the way that you basically have people that just cutting up shit and killing shit. So I'm starting to lose my voice talking so much. People just doing whatever the fuck they want to do without giving the animals their just due. You get what I'm saying? So it's not about whether whether it's right or wrong to kill animals or eat meat. It's all about the way you do it. If you program your meat, you know what I mean? So if you raise the frequency of the meat, it's different than just eating that shit straight out the package. That's why some people prefer to eat halal meat. You know what I mean? Because they kill their animals and they say that, you know, they give the animals their just due. So if you want to eat meat, then eat halal meat if you can. Or if you don't have access to that, raise the frequency of the food you eat. You can actually eat anything. This is what I'm saying. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. Just raise the frequency of the food you eat. Even if it's plants and vegetables and all that shit. Just raise the frequency of whatever you eat before you eat it. That's what's gonna make the difference as opposed to you just putting some shit in your mouth. It's the same thing. So just put prayer. You just gotta pray over your shit. Even if you smoking weed, how do you raise the frequency of food? You just gotta pray over this shit. You know what I mean? You can use 555 mercury. You can use that. So just chant 555, 555, 555. Say a little prayer. So if you eating your little chicken, that's the purpose of saying grace before you eat. You say grace to bless not only the animals that sacrifice themselves so that you can nurture yourself. You also say it to connect yourself with the higher source. You get what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of grace. That's why you will want to say grace, but it don't have to be limited to just eating anything. You can say grace over your weed before you smoke it. You can say grace before you walk into any building so that you don't get too much influenced by this building. But whatever it is, number 3, yeah, exactly. So you raise this frequency of food the same way you raise the frequency of anything else. You just chant over it. So, you know what I mean? You say your grace, you can chant 555, you can say Om, say a certain mantra, clean, stream, whatever. You just got to use different things. So before you smoke weed, chant clean over your weed 108 times and see what happens. Then chant stream, chant Om, chant whatever chant you want to use, and you see if you have a different experience based on what you chant. To the food, to the weed, to the water. You can program the water, whatever you drink. You can program anything. But when you put the power, it's all about the power of intention. Once you start to put intention, Newports, tobacco, same thing. Again, try it for yourself and you'll see the difference. I feel like I had this as a kid, then lost it, then fall into a world, help me. That's what it is. We lose ourselves and we forget just to find ourselves again. And this is how we start to find ourselves because, again, we are in a world where spirituality is shunned. People are just now getting back into it, but majority of the world is based on technology at this point. So majority of people just all about getting money and, you know what I mean, feeding their family. Just on some primordial. They're not getting past the root chakra. People are not going above just the survival instincts, the check shit. People are not living no further than they don't get past the lower chakras because you're not taught that shit. You're not learning this shit in school. You're not learning shit at the job, and you're not learning shit from your friends and family. You're not going. So majority of the world has no idea about spirituality, don't believe in it, don't care for it, because they're not cultivated enough to even understand it. But at the end of the day, if you are in tune and you do program your food, your water, your weeds, your herbs, your tobacco, whatever it is that you do, program anything and all things, and you will see a complete difference on the effect it has on you because now you are changing the frequency of whatever you're putting in your body. So even though you could say tobacco may be a poisonous plant, you make it less of a stress to the body when you change the frequency of it, even if it's just to a slight degree. So if you can change the frequency of everything you do, even to the slightest of degree, it still makes a difference. That still lets you know that the word and the vibration of your voice makes a difference on your reality. I like being in social, but some places people are in competition with each other. How should I avoid places like this or stay to be my authentic self? again, this is just how people are. You really can't avoid the competitive spirit. But what you can do is be creative. That's what they said in the book, The Science of Getting Rich. It talks about the majority of the world is competitive. Everybody want to be better than the next motherfucker, right? But to not get caught in that, you be creative and you be yourself. Be yourself and be creative. Focus on your sex chakra, your sacral chakra, not your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your sex chakra. Focus strictly on your creativity and your new ideas and your new philosophies in life you want to live, so that what everybody else is doing, it doesn't even matter to you, because you are firmly rooted in whatever it is that you're doing. So that's the difference. If you don't really have nothing to balance it out, you're going to get sucked in. That's why they say majority rules. If you don't have enough balance to have your own shit to counterbalance what's going on the outside, is going to get sucked into it. Thank you for the confirmation. Absolutely. So you have to be creative. Exercise your solar chakra so that you can have something to balance out all the bullshit that goes on in the world. Or become a victim of the world, you know what I mean? So it's no reason why we should be on a lower frequency or a lower vibrational state for a long period of time. If you walk into a situation where it lowers your energy, just get out of the situation or focus on your solar plexus so that your willpower can overpower whatever bullshit that's going on in the, whatever your environment. How can the energy of Baphomet improve my life? The energy of Baphomet is Saturn. Saturn is the root chakra. Saturn is also an androgynous planet, meaning it's masculine and it's feminine at the same time. So when you activate the energy of Baphomet, how do we get out of the cycle of reincarnating on the earth? I'll answer that next. To activate the energy of Baphomet, you're activating the masculine and feminine principles within ourselves. We are all masculine and feminine beings. So with that being said, when you work with Baphomet, you are activating, or you're really discovering, if you're more masculine, even if you're male or female, you may be more masculine. It helps you be in tune with the feminine. If you're more feminine, it helps you be in tune with the masculine. So it helps you balance it out so the two become one, because that's the whole point. The whole point of going through the spiritual process is to become an androgynous being, to activate the masculine and the feminine principles within ourselves. So, Baphomet challenge by the recurrent belief. By gathering energy to fifth energy, okay. How to get out of the cycles of reincarnation is basically everything we've been talking about. You have to get past the heart chakra. If you can get past the heart chakra and start to utilize your higher chakras, when you die, you will be able to project your soul out of your third eye or the back of your head. Your soul will leave, or your spirit will leave out the back of your head and go to the higher realms. You have to be vibrating on the higher realms to not get sucked back into this vortex. This vortex has a strong pull on most people, because again, if your whole life was just based on getting money, and you got a bunch of money, you lived a good life, but that didn't do nothing for your spirit. That didn't do nothing for your soul. That just helped you live a good physical life. And that's where it starts and ends for most people. So if you want to escape the pool of reincarnation, you have to activate the higher chakra so that when you do pass on to the next dimension, your soul is vibrating on a higher enough frequency so that you can escape it. You got to escape the pool. Because again, most people live this life unfulfilled. That's why you see, it's a lot of fucking people that got plenty of money, but they still, again, they haven't never passed the heart chakra, because they realize you start to realize these things after it's too late. Because like, damn, I was so focused on getting this money, maybe I didn't spend enough time with my family, or maybe I didn't do this, maybe I didn't do that. They start to have all these regrets. They're like, damn, money just was not the most important thing in life. But most of the time, they figure that shit out way too late. And they can't do shit. They on their deathbed. So that's why, they have all these dreams. You start to be more you start to have more psychedelic experiences when you're closer to death. This is why you have the same experiences when you fast. When you get closer to death, whether you fast and whether it's just your time to go, you start to have a more psychedelic experience. You start to hallucinate a lot more and see beyond just what's physical. You get what I'm saying? And this is what you see if you study Terence McKenna, who was big on the psychedelics. He talks a lot about that. So with that being said, to escape reincarnation, you have to vibe high enough so that your spirit and your soul will be fulfilled once it leaves the body instead of saying, damn, I should have did this, I should have did this, I should have did this. Or you think you fucking going to Jesus and you know, a lot of people die, a lot of religious people die not even sure that they're going to heaven or hell. They don't know. Damn, I hope I did enough. Damn, I hope I was successful. They so even at the moment of death, they still are not sure if they even did enough. They still feel unfulfilled. So of course they just get sucked back into the shit because if you leave your body not knowing if you did enough to get into the higher planes, then most likely you didn't do enough. And most of the time it's because you never went beyond the religion or you never went beyond whatever way of life you live. You have to study everything. If your whole life you just studied the Bible and you know nothing about the Quran, know nothing about the Vedas, know nothing about astrology, know nothing about Egyptian mythology, know nothing about the Book of the Dead, know nothing about any of these other ways of life, you're going to be unfulfilled because you lived your life in a fucking box and you had no idea what was going on outside of that. Is predictable or frequency signature a sign of constant connection with higher energy eyes because my entire day to day as described in, but the seas come faster and faster. Absolutely. The higher you start to vibrate, the more shit starts to make sense. When we die, are we supposed to go to the sun? No, not necessarily. It just depends on where you want to go. There is not necessarily a right place to go. You get what I'm saying? There is not, you know what I mean? Some people want to go deeper into the darkness. Some people go to the God realm. Some people want to go to, whether you want to call it the fifth dimension, sixth dimension, or whatever. You will know what to do if you cultivate your soul well enough. You will know what to do because you done spent most of your time astral child, not most of your time, but a lot of your time, especially as you get into older age, where you don't have to work anymore, you can kind of sit and chill. You will spend enough time in the astral planes and lucid dreaming, and you will know what's what before you reach that critical point, because you will have time to cultivate that. So when you then fulfilled your physical life and you able to sit back and chill, so you can really take your spirituality even more seriously, then you will be able to explore. So you'll be able to astral project to the sun and see exactly what's there. You'll be able to project to each planet and each dimension or wherever you want to go, and you will be able to see, oh, well, I want to go here, I want to go here. You'll be able to see it because now you have time to really cultivate that in your older age. So you will know where you want to go because you can probably already been there. But that's something that you start to explore where you don't have to worry about your bills and all this other shit that keeps you way down. So you just, as you explore and you get deeper and deeper, you will know what's up. Can you talk about nails? Hold on. Okay, I got like 15% of my fucking battery. So I'm gonna end this. Let me answer this last question, and we'll get up out of here. Can you talk about nails? Why do some people keep them so long and need special meaning? It's the same way why you see like the yogis, why they grow their beards out long, because they say they just let the body grow naturally. The same way you see people that grow out their dreads and they just have the natural dreads. Some people keep them nice, but then some people just let it do what they do, like on their Bob Marley shit. You know what I mean? It's just about, some people just feel that the body should be able to just grow naturally within itself, whether it's your hair, whether it's your nails or whatever. So it all depends. Some people like to be neat. Some people just let the body do what it do, whether it's your hair, your nails, or it's just some people. It really, the spiritual significance is, they say as you become older, you become sensitive to more and more things. So you cutting off your beard or cutting off your hair, you can feel everything being cut off. You know what I mean? And they feel like that's something that they're taking away from the body. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, it all depends on how you feel. If you feel like your nails should be long, if that makes you feel a more connected, if you're more connected to your nails when they're long, then grow them out. If you don't really care about that, then keep them neat. So it's just all about, some people just want to do, let the body do what it's do. Some people prefer to be neat. So it's just all about your perspective. You know what I mean? There is no right or wrong answer in that. So with that being said, we're gonna get up out of here. I will be here a little longer, but yeah, my phone is gonna die. Yeah, I went a lot longer than I usually go. So definitely, you know what I mean? Peace to everybody. If you didn't like the shit, like the fucking video. You know what I mean? And we gonna get up out of here. Peace to everybody. I'll see y'all real shortly. Tap.